Happy today at the races on a sunny Saturday. I'm here next to the man who hit the early pick 4 yesterday. Keith Fusel, you had a good Friday.
Had a good Friday. We were around it. Pick 4, I wish we could have paid a little bit, but, you made money on the play. At least, you weren't ripping the ticket up. But, yeah, things a little bit more formful on Friday, right, yesterday. So we had that off track. The turf stayed in really good condition. We talked about the rain. We needed the rain. The turf labeled as good. It's right there between good and firm if I had to really make the call. We'll keep it a good today. But all in all, a good day yesterday. We're back for Saturday, second day of this weekend. So I'm ready.
Speaking of that Sunday, Saturday that we have going on, for the rest of the day, let's go ahead and take a look at what exactly that track looks like. Nice and sealed here, muddy. But again, we got clear skies coming at us, I think, all day today, Keith.
Yeah, let's hope we can get through it without any precipitation. 78 degrees, humidity way up.
Yes.
I mean, it's steamy out here at the set, no doubt about it. But, yeah, looking forward to today's card. I like a couple horses on here. Got a couple shots at some prices. But first race scratch, the 1, Zen Master, was going to take some play. I was kind of clueless all the way through when I looked at this race. I handed to a couple guys in the press box when the PPs came out. And I still really can't make heads or tails. I like Mosifus. I'll take the shot because the barn's doing well. Who do you like?
In this claiming 16,000, which have never won 3 for the going 6 furlongs on the dirt.
Early
Keith,
pick
I
5.
have the number 2 on top, or excuse me, the number 6 on top, Lord Uhtred. This one is in the barn for Jamie Ness. Of course, in that early pick 5, Keith, you have this one. You don't have Lord Uhtred really in your top 3 at all. You save this one a little bit in your picks. I can see where that's coming from. Not the strongest efforts on a wet dirt.
Well, yeah, you've got everybody in here basically dropping despite odds. And remember, this is the start of the early pick 5, that low takeout. So, and we've seen the payouts in the pick 5 the last couple days, not yesterday, but a couple days prior, 18,000, 14.
Yep.
They've been some monstrosities. But yeah, Lord Uhtred, stepping up, going to go against older. That doesn't matter too much to me. He's just got to run faster. That's he's going to have to deal with Grand Escape as well on the front end, and maybe even Mosifus. So we know this barn is heating back up. Jamie Ness, Callie. We saw a couple big blowout wins yesterday for him with that was respectfully big number, 87 buyer for that win by 9.5. And Boss Logic powered away from the field. But I think Mosifus on the jam job. It's an okay percentage here, 24% for Michael Trombetta, 5 for 21, 10 of 21 in the money the last couple years with this kind of drop, sprinting on the dirt. So Mosifus, second off a break, got chewed up last time against much better. I think with the class and everything dropping, he could set up shop a couple lengths off of this speed and go ahead and make the pouncing move around the turn.
I wouldn't be surprised at all as Keith Fusel goes 2-5, 3-6 there in the opener of the Sunday Saturday that we have here in race number 1. Race number 2 does kick off Keith's early pick 4. He hit that yesterday. Keith, let's see what you take a stab at today. Again, no single.
No, $24. 7, 8, 9, 10. A little price shot there with Moon Sign. Looks like most of the play is going to come in on the 8 bailout and the 10 Tiz Tac Toe for Lacey Gaudette. And we trim it down 2 deep the rest of the way. Race 3 with the 2 and the 5. Del Shakira Cartwheel. Race 4, the 1 and the 7. As you can see, there's not any huge prices except in race 2. And then wrap it up in the 5th. Key Scratch, the 5. Pit Stop Man comes out. Really liked him today. We'll wait another day. So price is going to come down on everybody here. 9 and 10, Savoy and Free Square. There's your ticket, $24.
And hopefully, Keith, you can hit that again today as you did yesterday. And it starts off in this turf event, a mile and an eighth in the claiming 16, which have never won 2. Scratch in the 3, 5, 13, 14, 15, and 16, all of those AEs. Keith, you land on the number 10, as you mentioned just now, Tiz Tac Toe, Lacey Gaudette, Johan Rosado, giving us a nice positive go on a couple of these turfs in 2023.
Yeah, and lately, the barn's going pretty well. Lacey Gaudette, last 90 days, 6 for 24, 25% with a 5.28 ROI. A couple of wins up at Deli P, but Tiz Tac Toe ran pretty well last time. Out of that same race as Bailout, dropping. I thought Bailout had a perfect trip, just didn't quite follow through. But these two on a little bit of drop maybe gives them a little bit better chances. Tiz Tac Toe has changed the style of late. Going back to last summer, was more of a front runner. Change of tactics, sits a little bit further off the pace. Gotten a little trouble turning for home. Alter course late. I thought kicked on very well. The extra 16th of a mile is going to work. for this 10-horse Tiz Tacto. We talked about bailout. There's not a lot of speed in race number 2, Callie, so I think this one will be forwardly placed. Go ahead and stalk and try to move in. I think Tiz Tacto can run that one down. Price shot, Moon Sign. You're looking at Moon Sign, right? Just all of a sudden woke up last time. Good win over at Pimlico. Much higher buyer figure. Going back to the turfs, was without Lasix on those turf races. Has some family that went long, carried it long on the turf. Moon Sign, let's go to the front. We got Caramanos, changer rider. Horacio Caramanos picks up the mount. Go to the front, see how far you can go. Price user there. 10, 8, 9, 7. Summer Silence is a horse that intrigues me a little bit to make a run from off the pace.
As Keith Usel rounds out his picks in at the start of the early pick 4, race number 3 in that second leg of the early pick 4 is a starter allowance going 7 furlongs on the dirt, which I think makes this race really interesting. Makes it even more interesting when you scratch the 3 Esperana and the 4 Calypso Ghost. Keith, you have the number 5 Cartwheel on top for Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez, both getting 2 wins yesterday.
Talked about, right. Ness, looks like he's back. He went through a little bit of a lull there for about a month and a half. All of a sudden, this barn is firing on all cylinders. The turn back in distance is a key. It worked for this one, 2 races back. There's plenty of speed in here. A little bit scratched out with Calypso Ghost and Esperana, but 7/8 might just get it done over Dulce Care, but don't leave this 2-horse out. Your top selection I like a lot as well. I'm going to key around these 2 when you really look at it and throw in a couple. I don't know if you can throw in anybody else, maybe Dancer's Melody. But Dulce Quiera ran really, really big last time in a 2 other than.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at that run that Keith just talked about. It left a little space, though, and we'll see that in a couple of minutes of what exactly happens there, Keith.
Okay, yeah, Dulce Quiera out, gets the lead. I was a little bit surprised, but it's 23-2, not blazing, good enough. This is the right kind of field, though. Meets the challenge of a couple runners and just digs in every step of the way through the stretch. Looks like maybe Gone comes off the rail, There comes Sweet Gracie, right? You just thought race riding could have stayed in there and blocked her. But, she was going. And, she tried her heart out. Yeah, could have made it a little bit tougher for the deuce. But, hey, I love the way that she's holding form. A little moisture in the racetrack as well. Bandbox about 97%, it seems like, with these off-track riders. It's over 20,
it's
right?
24,
It's 24. It's
yes.
really, really good. So Dulce Quiera, I think with the scratches of the 3 and the 4 will be put into this race early, and you're going to have to work to get by her.
And let's see how that shakes down as Keith Usel goes 5-2, 7-8 in race number 3. Race number 4 in this claiming at 25, which have never won 2. Going 6 furlongs on the turf, not 5.5, 6 today. In scratching the number 2 by its absence, scratching the number 8, Judy's Army. And we are going to take a look right now at Bourbon Ready in that last effort out over at Pimlico, trying the turf. Another one that was a front runner.
Yeah, it was up towards the lead last time, first time in the barn of Arnaud Delacour for West Point and Titletown. Good effort, just kind of battling every step of the way. Star Shopping was the one that was going to benefit off of this duel, and it's going to be able to edge ever so slightly by. But Bourbon Ready, dead game to the wire. The blinkers come off. Interesting move. Got a little stat for this one, but kept running. We're going 6 furlongs today, and I think – on the outer course here, this one's going to be into the race early and kind of just stay around. And this was a pretty hefty stat. Delacour, last 3 years in the turf sprints, 6 for 12, 50%, 8 for 12 in the money. First time, blinkers off. ROI is 476. Another one with a good break, gets put into the race, will be there top of the lane. You're going to have to work to get by that one. You're looking for a little bit of a closer. How about the 7?
Yes.
Sharp Red Eagle.
That's a nice ROI from $4.76 from Bourbon Ready. As you go into your exacta with Sharp Red Eagle, Fennica Bentley gets the blinkers on and Force Boyce on as well for the first time to date, which is something I like for the 6 furlong distance today.
Yeah, I like turning back. I think 6 might be just barely pushing. This horse has got that real good run at 5.5. That extra 16th, you're going to have to time it just right. You've got the right kind of rider in Forest Boyce to do that with Sharp Red Eagle, to be able to draft a little bit towards the inside. You're going to get the patented ride. Can he follow through just enough to get over the top? But Bourbon Ready to horse to beat, I think, in race number 4. Colquist, you saw out of that race, was dead game. Another one, that last little bit, can he go through? You looking for a bomb? I got the 10 in there, Celtic Sea, with a little bit of give possibly in this turf course. This horse has got a couple good races. at a route of ground. Turning back, I think the 6 works if you're looking for something to kind of enhance the tries and the supers.
As Keith Buesel goes 1-7-6-10 there in race number 4. Race number 5, it kicks off that rainbow pick 6. I've got a quick structure to give you guys 3 deep here in 4, 9, and 10 in this starter allowance. Race number 6, I go ahead in that jackpot race. We do have a carryover in that our jackpot super high 5 in race number 6. I go 3 deep there, 3, 4, and 5. Tecalera is my top selection in that race. Race at number 7, I go ahead and take a single. I would have loved to add Brilliant Ice with the 1 and the 7, but my ticket was getting a little bit pricey, so I go ahead. We have a video on my single in a little bit. Race number 8, 2 and 3, Rock the Boat with Dr. Jeff handling that turf. Race number 9, I go 4 wide. It seems an easy go with Eldest Son, and you have Omodata. And there are a couple of other factors with the 4 and the 6 that really attract me, so I go ahead and go wide in there. 1, 4, 6, 7 in race number 10. A bit of a tiniest head scratcher there in that 16 Never Win 3. A mile on the turf, I go 1, 2, 3 with the number 2 Bodie Lynx being my top selection there. But let's get back down to business at what starts the Rainbow Pick 6 in this 5th race. The starter allowance going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds, and a big scratch, Keith, in the number 5 Pit Stop Man. You and I both had this one on top. And number 8, Dr. Rusty Raymond. To add to that, you have the number 10 Free Square. This is my original top pick for Lacey Gaudet. Gets Johan Rosado. Was given a little bit of a spring break, a spring freshener, so to say, and comes back second off of the layoff.
Yeah, I tell you, this race with the scratch of the 5 really kind of threw me in a little bit of quandary. We're going to kick off the pick 6 here, and a little note about the Rainbow Pick 6. I talked about it the other day. It's not like a huge carryover, but it's one of these sequences where, you could really kind of hook together a $9 horse, $11 horse, a $7, and you're going to come out okay. Don't be afraid. Step in on this bet today. You definitely could be rewarded. And leaving that scratch of the 5 gives me a lot of horses with a shot in here. I think Free Square is just going to sit a perfect trip from this break at 7/8 of a mile. Charge to victory. He's had a little issue kind of getting out of the gate. Maybe Savoy goes ahead and goes. But looking at the scratch of the 5, it looked like the lone lick of life. I think Free Square just couldn't keep up with some really fast horses at Pimlico. Comes back to Laurel, a good record here. Fits against these type of horses. Runs some big races. I'll give the last race a pass. I think he's just going to measure the speed and go on with it.
And I think just sitting right outside of that potential speed in your exacta, the number 9 Savoy, of course, that one gun to the front on and off track over at Pimlico last time out, going the 6 furlongs. We just kind of stretched that out. I'm taking the bait to see if that one will stretch out to the 7.
Well, Callie, we want to know one thing. This horse has run some big races off a track with moisture. So over that surface, it's going to work for Savoy. Again, I mean, the lack of speed gives this horse, I think, an extra chance. He used to be able to come from just off of it. He's versatile enough. Little pick-me-up last time out that was second off the claim. Third off the claim could be even a little bit better. You're looking for some horses maybe make a move from off the pace. Obviously, Albertano I don't have in the mix, but will be used in my exact. It's always tough at this starter level. He's just kind of like money. I saw Bob Beck down there. He's like an ATM machine for Mr. Beck. So good luck to them. And Kieran in here. Going to use the exact. Even Hot and Spicy Love, I thought ran pretty well. Got in some trouble. You see that steady 5/16 was making a little bit of a move over at Pimlico at a mile and an eighth. Dropped back and really churned on quite willingly if you look at that race. So I think at 7/8 it's going to work. Wish there was a little bit more speed signed on. But I think Hot and Spicy Love can rally into it.
As Keith Buesel goes 10-9, 6-1 there at the start of the Rainbow Pick 6. And we will be right back after this commercial break to discuss that jackpot super high 5 race.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
Stay safe out there this summer. If not, MedStar Sports has your back. But let's talk about race number 6. That does kick off that jackpot super high five of 5,348. Of course, by the time we get to race number 6, that's going to climb up a little bit because it is in this nice allowance, going 8 furlongs on the turf, a mile. For the girls 3 years old and up, Keith, you have the number 5 on top, Nicolar for Ferris Allen. A pretty decent, solid performances that we've seen run right out of the gate on, Preakness Day.
Yeah, I think, the distance fits. Back to Laurel's turf course works. All 3 wins over this surface. Distance, 2 for 4 with a second and a third. Last time out, real slow pace, a little bit of steady, and just never got it going. That was an oddly run race because I didn't see Daily Planet on the lead. Somehow Daily Planet ended up on the lead. That's not a typical Forest Boys thing. You're going to expect that one to come from a little further back, and will today with some of the other speeds in here. A couple of horses are going to be kind of going early, including Dancing Till Dusk. Tecolaria should be forward, maybe even Tufani, and This Name Is Okay. So that being said, Nicolar with Ruiz. This one's run some pretty good races over the inner portion of this turf course as well. I think third back off of a break, back to Laura with enough flow in front. You're going to see like a covered-up trip from Nicolar. I think you're going to see a better run today from the quarter pole home.
There we go. And let's talk about Daily Planet, who you just mentioned, took the lead last time out back on the turf, but now shortening it up. Possibly still taking that lead approach today, do you think?
Yeah, close enough. I mean, you're going to get a price. 12-1. I think you're going to get 8, 10, 12-1 on Daily Planet. Change of tactics will come further back, right behind horses like Nicolar, My Candy Girl. That works for me. I want to look for a little bit of value in here, and I think we're going to get it with Daily Planet, and I think we'll get it with Nicolar.
And there we go. Some value with Keith Fustel in his exacta there in our jackpot super high 5 in race number 6 as he goes 5, 9, 3, 4. Race number 7 is another allowance going a mile, but it's on the dirt, and it's for the 3-year-olds. Keith, you have the number 1 Brilliant Ice, who I have in my exacta, almost put on my ticket, Annette Eubanks, William Humphrey. I know what key race you're going to talk about, but this one is okay on a track today at this distance.
What if I don't pick the right one?
What if you don't? Well, then I'll bring it up in just a second.
You're going to talk about the one going back against Under the Radar? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
having some trouble, a little worked out, a trip, going from 6 furlongs back out to the mile. Exactly right. And ran really quite well despite being herded out late. Brilliant Ice has been consistent. That's the one thing you can say about him. Annette Eubanks, the last 2 winners, again, like that's runaway winners. This horse is holding form. I think the key is the break. The first 1/8 of a mile for him to get position. If he can get within a stalking spot without having to work too hard, I think he brings a finish into this. Tracking C. Trident. I think you're going to see Trident, who got kind of burned up in a duel at Monmouth, second off a break, go a long way in here.
And then you also have the number 7 underneath, Luigi's Spirit. Let's go ahead and watch Luigi's Spirit in that effort on the 18th of May, just before Preakness weekend back at Pimlico coming in here. Game effort.
Yeah, I like the way this guy's kind of improved of late. Good effort here. You're going to see out of the gate, Gray Horse kind of drifts in, gives you a little bump out of the gate. And then, Cruz does a good job. So go ahead and kind of let's just go ahead and settle. Then a duel kind of developed from the far turn into the lane, working out a good trip, a little inside, going to have to alter course there and close late. I tell you what, if things get anyway contested up front, Luigi Spirit, the form that he's holding, the runs that he brings, he's got, I think, the best sustainable run of this group.
Absolutely, especially with Ghost Zapper, should be able to handle this type of track today, no problem, Keith.
That was a tough beat right there. Looked like he put a nose in front just before the wire. Montauk Point back to get the win. 13-1 that day. You won't get close to that this afternoon.
And then, of course, as Keith Fustel goes, 1-8-7-5 there in race number 7. We carry on to race 8, where we go an allowance optional claiming back on the turf. 6 furlongs here today. Let's talk about the scratches of 6, 7, 8, and 9. Keith, you and I both have Rock the Boat. Doesn't inherit the rail. There's no scratch of the one. Robbie Bales, Horacio Caramanos. What a wonderful finish in that effort, coming back into 2023 for the turf for the first time.
Yeah, I hedged wrong with some of these video spotlights. I kept all the dirts because I didn't think we'd be on the turf.
Fair enough.
It's not nice to rock the boat because he ran awesome last time out. Preakness Day, started off the Preakness Day card with a bang, and he broke. That's the key. This guy has had some issues coming out of the gate. The first 5 strides, that's going to dictate the chances of Rock the Boat today. I think if he comes away cleanly, he took pressure from some pretty good horses, and when he widened, he kicked away with vigor. I'm not worried about the extra, extra furlong here going from Pimlico to 5/8 out to the 6. Rock the Boat comes back with good works, holding sharp form. I think if he breaks, he's the speed of the speed and can handle even a little bit of pressure if he gets it.
And he'll be gone at that 6 furlong distance. Let's talk about your exacta and Maya. Prince gets the blinkers on, also gets Fergal Lynch back in the saddle here today. Fergal Lynch having some prior winning experience with this horse.
Yeah, the 2 turf tries there were good. I think 6 works for this guy. Off a little slow, caught wide at Monmouth, unable to make any real headway. Today, with a little extra flow in here, Maya Prince will sit. Lynch knows this guy to be able to time the run. He's going to be able to draft in a little bit from that post position as well, because a couple of those horses to the inside are just clearly faster. So I think it works out a great trip to make a run into it.
All eyes are going to be on Rock the Boat there in race number 8. We're hoping for a repeat performance there as we saw him for the first time over at Pimlico as Keith Fusel goes 2-5, 3-10 in race number 8. Race number 9 is an allowance optional claiming 62.5, going a mile and 16th on the dirt. Scratch for the straight 3-year-olds, by the way. Scratch the 1A Kerness. Scratch number 3, My Mamba. Keith, you have the number 7, Omodata. Tim Keith. Sheldon Russell gets back in the saddle for this 3-year-old colt today.
Yeah, I mean, and this guy showed a lot of promise early and just blew their doors off of that field February the 11th. Slower pace, draws off by 12 and change. Handley's the comment. We don't give that out too often. And then came back and was favored against Eldest Son. A brutal beginning. Next time out off a little bit of a break, did not get play. Again, a brutal beginning. Draws outside, looking for some price. We talk about late in the day, things aren't going great. We got to look for some kind of value. And I think, going back to Sheldon, look at that ROI with Sheldon and Tim Keefe. It's strong. Over $5, win percentage over 30%. I think Feeling Woozy's got to kind of go just to his outside. He'll be able to draft over, finally get into a rhythm. He's a bigger, longer striding horse. He can cover some ground. If he gets through that opening 8th, I think you're going to see the better version of Omodata today. If we don't see it today, then who knows what's going to happen to Omodata.
One horse that also needs a little bit of a better help out of the gate is Eldest Son. Now, if we go back, Eldest Son had a bit of a hiccup, but let's take a look at the April effort. Also had a hiccup.
Yeah, we're going to look at the race right April the 15th in the Tezio. Bobbled out of the break. Against, we know the field performed, 90% Matty, Summer Calls, good horses there. So a little trouble out of the gate, and then works out a trip. It caught wide, 4 or 5 wide when the real running kind of begins. And just kind of, unfortunately, they went, not terribly fast, but just couldn't quite make that late impact we thought after the early adversity. I like the way he just kind of churns on. We give him flattened, but still giving effort. Last time out, another tough trip, forced out, I think, into that first turn at a mile and 16th at Pimlico. Couldn't quite ramp it up. Catches the right kind of field today. He's going to have to bring a top effort, though, because I think Feeling Woozy is the one here for Hammy Smith, just overmatched and latest. But his tactical speed and staying ability, what he's shown against better, is going to work for him here in the 9th race.
As Keith Fusel goes 7-1-6-4 in that tricky allowance optional, as Keith Fusel goes with Omodata, giving you a little bit of value in race at number 10 is our nightcap of the Saturday. Hopefully keeps Sunday, Saturday going in this claiming 16, never win 3, going a 1 mile on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up scratch in the number 12. Grecian Pharaoh. Keith, you land on the rail horse in the last skip, Suzanne Stutenius, J-Ron Barbosa. This one returning back to the turf, and I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I think the mile's going to work. Was very sharp in return, overland trip, and got it done at Pimlico on the dirt. I think is a little bit better on the turf. Of course, this is a real maze of a race. I think the other horse for Suzanne Stutenius, Seville Rose, going to get plenty of play as well. It's a tough race to line, so you got to look for a little bit of price. The last sip, just the running style and sharper off of that sprint is going to put him in good position, I think, to get the jump on some of these, I won't say plotters, but grinding types. And if he can do that, I think it's going to work out well for him. Barbosa is the right kind of rider to get that kind of trip. Another price shot, titrate. Barn change, fresh, horses off a layoff, higher percentage, smaller sample for Mancia, but has races on the page. 10 post scares me. I wish he was a little bit further inside. But again, he's got enough finish in here. If you're looking for something to kind of get out with, that's the kind of horse we're looking for. 110.89 aesthetically. In other words, stretching out, one off a big, like over a 500-day layoff for Damon. My question is the route. We'll see if he can handle it off a 200-plus day layoff.
We'll find out as, let's see, second route for Damon DeVico, 6 for 3, 50% as of lately.
Okay.
And then you also have 5 for 6 in the money with his second-time routers as of lately. So nice pick underneath and aesthetically, Keith, in that nightcap of the day. As you go, 110, 8, 9.
Yeah, I've got even a little star next to Honor My World. We know the
go.
barn. They don't salute, but I'm telling you, got a useful return overland trip at Delaware. Underneath kind of a horse. Maybe bet 2 to win and then use underneath the exacta. So I would kind of key, if I'm attacking this race, I'm probably taking the 1 and the 10. Exacta boxes, top and bottom with a few of these price shots and try to take it from there. Just kind of a little bit of way to spread the money out and catch yourself a $160, $180 exacta.
There you go. You heard it from the man who hit the early pick 4 yesterday. So keep taking his advice and you will come out a winner. And with that, let's head on over to Lightning Round to kind of hone in on Keith's favorites of today, starting with your value play in race number 6 with Nicolar back routing on that turf.
Yeah, let's get a win here for Ferris Allen. How about that? Nicolar, I mean, she's run some good races we talked about on the inner portion of this turf course. I know the rail's out 35 feet, but I went back and looked. I think she's going to like this position. Had a little trouble in an oddly run race at Pimlico. Back to her favorite turf course. Enough flow, and the right kind of turf rider to work out a trip from down inside, maybe an inside-out trip from the top of the stretch home. I like Nicolar. I think we're going to get around that 9 to 2, 5 to 1 range.
And then, so normally, Keith, you give us a best bet. You give us a value play. But
Yes.
today, we have a bomb play, a blow-up play from Keith Fusel in race number 2 in the number 9 Moon Sign at 20 to 1.
Yeah, it might give you a little bit of a thrill. Yeah, and Bill and I were up there. Sometimes we're looking, you look at a race, it's got to be a blow-up race.
Yeah.
We got a little blow-up play. Can you really depend on bailout, tic-tac-toe? We'll see. There's not a lot of flow in race number 2. This horse has shown speed on the turf, sprinting. Didn't have lace extent. Jumped up, ran a big race on the dirt last time. There's turf form in the family that's gone long. Karamanos was the first jockey I saw today. Someone was getting a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich in the jock's room, and there we go. There was a rousing. Maybe that's a sign. But go to the front and give us a little thrill. Don't know how long the guy's going to stay up there, but I think it might stay up there for a while.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
Let's dig into a little bit of how this season, the summer season, is going for these jocks and trainers hitting into those leaderboards. In the trainer standings, Brittany Russell and Mike Trombetta are tied. Jamie Ness breathing down their necks with 1 win behind you. Of course, have Kieran McGee and Rudy Sanchez-Solomon.
Yeah, things tighten up. And it's interesting right now because you've got trainers running horses kind of everywhere, so you're going to see that. You might see a little bit of a closer race here all the way through this summer meet.
And for the jocks, of course, in the lead, we do have Sheldon Russell and Jamie Rodriguez tying it up with 7 wins. Axel Concepcion. This is going to be a tight, fun race to watch here as for that summer title, how that finishes up.
Yeah, Sheldon's kind of hooked up in a good little spot there, isn't he? Yeah, Jamie
say
Rodriguez
so.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Higher percentage barns, so you want to be riding for them. And if you do, I think things are just going to pan out just fine for you.
To be fair to Sheldon, though, he's been coming in with some great
Oh, yeah.
prices just outside of Brittany's barn. So he's been on a really nice roll ever since leaning back into that end of Pimlico, coming back into Laurel Park. He's been giving us some pretty decent prices on top of that within that 7 lead win.
He's a very capable rider. I mean, no doubt about him. A fan of Sheldon's. All these guys. I mean, we've got some guys that can kind of take the tack, kind of to a lot of spots, and I think if given the right kind of chance, would do just fine. So, I think we got a good little colony here, and Sheldon, Jamie Rodriguez, Jaime Rodriguez.
Yep.
How are we supposed to say it?
Jamie.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll go Jamie Rodriguez.
I was very confused all winter. I was saying it wrong all winter. He never said anything to me, but I got it fixed up in the spring. So it is Jamie Rodriguez and Sheldon Russell vying for the lead so far in that jock standing. And we are going to take it to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All righty. Good luck, everybody.